The Wise Tortoise and the Sweet Apples. Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there lived a clever tortoise named Tilda. One sunny afternoon, Tilda was walking through the woods when she spotted a beautiful apple tree. Its branches were heavy with bright red apples, glistening in the sunlight. "Oh, how sweet and juicy they must be," Tilda thought, her mouth watering. She waddled closer to the tree and looked up at the apples. But they were far too high for her to reach. Tilda tried stretching her neck as high as she could, but it wasn't enough. She then stood on a rock nearby, hoping it would give her a boost, but the apples were still out of reach. Just then, a mischievous squirrel named Sammy darted down from another tree. "Ha! Tilda, you'll never reach those apples," Sammy chattered. "Why don't you just give up? You're too slow and too small." Tilda didn't let Sammy's teasing bother her. Instead, she sat down and began to think. "If I can't reach the apples, maybe I can find another way to get them," she said to herself. She looked around and noticed some fallen branches and vines nearby. An idea sparked in her mind. Slowly but surely, Tilda began to build a small ramp leading up to the tree. Sammy watched curiously, chuckling to himself. "That'll never work," he muttered. After some time, Tilda's ramp was ready. With determination, she climbed up the ramp and gently nudged an apple with her head. It fell to the ground with a soft thud. Success! Tilda cheered as she climbed back down and enjoyed her well-earned treat. Sammy, who had been watching the whole time, was amazed. "I guess I was wrong, Tilda. You're not too slow or small, you're smart and patient," he admitted. Tilda smiled and offered Sammy a slice of the apple. "Patience and effort can solve even the trickiest problems," she said. From that day on, Sammy learned to never underestimate someone just because they seemed small or slow. And Tilda? She became known as the wisest creature in the forest. Moral of the story: patience and creative thinking can help you achieve what seems impossible.
Penny the Puddle Duck's Perfect Puddle. In a quiet countryside, nestled between tall grass and dandelions, lived a cheerful little duck named Penny. Penny wasn't just any duck, she was a puddle duck. She didn't care for big lakes or noisy rivers. What Penny loved most were puddles. Big puddles, small puddles, muddy or clear. If it was a puddle, Penny was happy. Every morning after the rain, Penny would waddle from her nest to search for the perfect puddle to splash in. But today, no matter where she looked, every puddle seemed either too shallow, too mucky, or already taken by frogs. "Oh, where is my perfect puddle?" Penny sighed. She wandered further than ever before and stumbled upon a little hill she had never climbed. At the top she found a sparkling puddle hidden in a dip of soft moss. The water shimmered in the sunlight and gentle ripples danced across its surface. It was quiet, peaceful, and perfect. Penny flapped her wings with joy and hopped in. As she splashed and played, other animals came to watch. A squirrel, a hedgehog, even a shy fox cub tiptoed closer. They had never seen anyone enjoy something so simple, so completely. "Can we try the puddle too?" asked the hedgehog. "Of course," Penny beamed. They all took turns, giggling and splashing under the warm sun. Penny had not only found her perfect puddle, she had made new friends who appreciated it too. From that day on, the puddle became a magical place, full of laughter and friendship, even on the cloudiest days. Moral: joy can be found in the simplest things, and is even better when shared with others.
The Frost King and the Power of Love. In the land of eternal winter, where the mountains touched the sky and rivers turned to ice, there ruled the Frost King, a mighty and cold-hearted ruler. His palace of ice towers sparkled in the pale sunlight, and his voice carried the power to freeze even the warmest breeze. He ruled alone, for his heart was said to be made of solid ice, and he had no need for warmth or companionship. The Frost King's icy dominion spread across the land, and no living thing could survive in his cold embrace. The trees stood lifeless, the rivers slept beneath thick ice, and the flowers were but forgotten whispers of a warmer time. But deep in the heart of a frozen forest, a small village of resilient people clung to life. Among them lived a young woman named Alara, known for her kind and compassionate heart. Alara loved her people deeply and mourned the loss of their warmth and joy. She had heard tales of the Frost King's icy reign and the curse he had cast upon the land. One evening, as the villagers gathered around a flickering fire, she declared, "I will go to the Frost King's palace and plead for mercy. If there is even a flicker of warmth left in his heart, I will find it." Despite the villagers' warnings, Alara set out alone. She trekked through snowstorms, climbed icy cliffs, and braved the biting cold, her courage fueled by her love for her people. Finally, she reached the Frost King's palace, its walls gleaming like diamond under the moonlight. Inside, the Frost King sat upon his throne, his presence chilling the very air. When Alara entered, the warmth of her breath turned to frost. She knelt before him and said, "Great Frost King, I come not to challenge your power but to ask for mercy. Your winter is eternal, but the hearts of my people grow weary and cold. Please, let the warmth return to the land, even if only for a season." The Frost King's icy gaze fell upon her. "Foolish girl," he said, his voice as cold as the wind. "Why should I grant your request? I have no need for warmth or seasons. The world belongs to the cold." Alara stood and looked into his icy eyes. "Perhaps you have no need for warmth, but that is because your heart has forgotten it. Somewhere deep inside you, there must be a flicker of what it means to care. Let me remind you." Intrigued by her bravery, the Frost King agreed to test her. He led her to the heart of his palace, where a single frozen rose was encased in ice. "This rose holds the last warmth of my heart," he said. "If you can melt the ice and awaken the rose, I will grant your wish. But if you fail, you will remain frozen here forever." Alara placed her hands on the icy rose. At first, the cold stung her fingers, but she closed her eyes and thought of her people, their laughter, their hope, and their love. Her heart began to glow with warmth, and soon, her touch grew warmer. The ice cracked and melted, and the rose bloomed in her hands, its petals a deep, vibrant red. The Frost King watched in awe as the warmth of the rose began to spread. The ice of his palace shimmered and softened, and for the first time in centuries, he felt his frozen heart stir. A single tear, warm and glistening, slid down his cheek, melting the frost from his face. "You have reminded me of something I thought I had lost forever," the Frost King said. "Your love and courage have shown me the beauty of warmth and life." True to his word, the Frost King released the land from his icy grip. The snow began to melt, rivers flowed freely, and flowers bloomed once more. The Frost King retreated to the highest peaks, where winter still ruled, but he allowed spring to visit the land each year. Alara returned to her village, where the people celebrated the return of warmth and life. They honored her as a hero, but she humbly said, "It was not my power, but the power of love, that melted even the coldest heart." Moral: even the coldest heart can be warmed by love, courage, and compassion. True strength lies in the ability to bring warmth and hope to others.
The Monkey and the Crocodile. Once upon a time, near a wide river, there lived a clever monkey on a big mango tree. The tree was full of delicious sweet mangoes, and the monkey happily ate them every day. One day, a crocodile swam to the riverbank and rested under the tree. Seeing him tired and hungry, the kind-hearted monkey offered him some mangoes. The crocodile happily ate the juicy fruit and soon became friends with the monkey. Every day the monkey gave the crocodile fresh mangoes, and they enjoyed talking to each other. But the crocodile's wife was greedy and wicked. When she heard about the sweet mangoes, she said, "If the mangoes are so delicious, imagine how sweet the monkey's heart must be. Bring me his heart, dear husband." The crocodile was sad but agreed. The next day he invited the monkey for a ride on his back. "Come, my friend, let me take you across the river to meet my wife," he said. The monkey happily agreed and jumped onto the crocodile's back. But as they reached the middle of the river, the crocodile spoke in a serious tone. "My wife wants to eat your heart, dear friend. That's why I brought you here." The clever monkey stayed calm. He quickly thought of a plan and said, "Oh, why didn't you tell me earlier? I keep my heart in the tree. Take me back and I'll give it to you." The foolish crocodile believed him and swam back to the shore. As soon as they reached the tree, the monkey leaped onto a high branch and laughed. "You betrayed our friendship. Now go away. I will never trust you again." The crocodile realized his mistake, but it was too late. He swam away in shame, and the monkey lived happily in his tree, safe and wise. Moral of the story: quick thinking can save you from tricky situations. The Monkeys and the Mysterious Bell. Once upon a time, in a quiet village near the forest, there lived a band of playful monkeys. They loved swinging from trees, eating juicy fruits, and exploring anything shiny or new. One day, the monkeys found a shiny bell lying near an old cart in the village market. It jingled and sparkled in the sunlight. Curious and excited, they carried it into the forest, ringing it as they went. Ding, 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 ding. The bell echoed through the trees. Every animal in the forest turned to listen. But back in the village, the sound scared the people. "That sounds like a ghost," someone cried. "It must be a forest spirit," said another. Soon fear spread across the village. People stopped going near the forest and even closed the market early. Meanwhile, the monkeys were having the time of their lives. They hung the bell from a branch and took turns swinging and making it ring. They had no idea they were scaring the villagers. One day, a wise old teacher named Grandma Leela heard the frightened villagers and decided to find out the truth. She followed the sound into the forest with her little granddaughter. They peeked through the bushes and found monkeys playing with a bell. "Grandma," Dila laughed softly and returned to the village. She gathered everyone and said, "There is no ghost, just curious little monkeys having fun with a bell." The villagers were surprised and a little embarrassed. They realized that they had panicked without knowing the truth. The next day, they left a basket of fruits in the forest as a thank you gift. The monkeys found the fruits and left the bell behind, no longer interested. Peace returned to both the forest and the village. Moral: jumping to conclusions can cause unnecessary fear. Always find out the truth before reacting.